I got into a fellowship program. I really randomly applied because I saw someone that I actually don't even know on LinkedIn got into it, and then I kind of just reached out to see if they were still taking applicants, and the Philadelphia site was. So I got into the Advanced Fellowship for Patient Safety at the Philadelphia VA. It's a year long. It's not a pharmacy focused fellowship, so that will be interesting. But anyone with a master's degree in really, it doesn't even have to be a health sciences focus, can do it, and it's just focused on patient safety. I'm excited. It's, I guess, a different opportunity from what I've been doing now, so we'll see how that goes. I got my laptop, I got my ID. Our ID has to go in the laptop for it to work, which is why it's inside. We got our CPRS access. CPRS is like the electronic medical record that is specific to the VA that they use. There was a couple more like passwords, logins, like that kind of stuff that we got, and pretty much all settled in now. We have a space upstairs, which is our like workspace called the medical touchdown space, so we use that space when we go in. A lot of things are kind of just like slowly moving along, so next steps are kind of continue with the online training that we've been doing. We have class basically every other day. It's 3 days a week, and it's a few hours where we go over different topics. We've been doing things like ways to plot your data, different types of data, so what quantitative and qualitative data mean, resources that the VA has that will help in moving our projects along, things like that, and it's been going good. We get divided into cadre groups, so there's 9 of us fellows, and we got divided into 2 groups, and then our cadre groups meet every other week in order to kind of move our project along and kind of see if there's feedback that we can get, any I don't know, homework assignments that we're working on, we go over. If we have questions from the lecture, we go over that too. And that's what we do in our cadre groups. So it's been going good. Things are moving along, kind of getting settled in. We've met a few people like the patient safety officers. We've met some of the people in the patient safety management. We have yet to meet with the pharmacy team, but we're slowly moving along. For the year, we have to come up with a project idea that's going to be like our capstone project, so like what we work on for a majority of the year. So today we went in to come up with ideas and to kind of see what projects the hospital needs and what we could be working on. So we met with Dr. Mano. I forgot what his exact title is, but it's something with medical center education. And he was talking about that possible things we could work on were asthma and COPD education for veterans, or CHF education with veterans. So I think my project this year is going to involve inhaler medication device education in some capacity. Not really sure what that will look like yet. We got to meet with providers, nurses, doctors in the pulmonary clinic to kind of see what their thoughts are and what exactly they feel like we should be doing on the project. But as of now, it looks like that my project focus will probably be asthma or COPD. We came back from our week-long training that was in person. We have like I think it was 3 days or 4 days where we all meet up somewhere, like all our cadre leaders, our cadre members, a lot of our faculty, us, and we do an in-person training, which is kind of like a wrap-up of all of our online training that we were doing. And it's nice because we got to meet a lot of our other fellows because they're all at different sites, so we don't see them regularly. I made another video about it before, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but if you want to watch it, I'll like link it somewhere. But it took a little while to get our travel stuff together because the VA is the one who figures out our travel details. So just getting like through to people took a long time, even though we knew about the trip before we even started. So that took, I would go, a few months.
I've been running into some trouble with going to next steps for my project. But I finished my IRB, and IRB is like the form that you have to submit to a review committee, and they look over it, and my project has to be quality improvement, not research. So the committee looks at it and they determine that the project is indeed quality improvement and not research. So that got approved within a few days. But now I have to wait till January, just because there's like, I guess, no buyer or support yet really for my project. But I'm working on surveys to be distributed to the veterans to kind of see what exactly they would want from me in specific, or like what specifically would be more useful for veterans, and then kind of use that data to make my project. So my survey is like a 10-question survey that veterans will get when they check into the pulmonary clinic, and while they're waiting in the waiting room, they'll return it, or they'll fill out the survey and then return it to the staff that gave it to them. And the survey is asking them questions like, are you getting educational material to take home? Has someone gone over your inhaler with you? Is there ways that we can help manage your asthma or COPD that we're not currently doing? And then from that data, kind of decide what I should do to move on.
So my main project has come far along from where I think the last time I talked about it. Now my project focus is to make educational materials for the veterans to take home. So when they come into the pulmonary clinic, they will go to their regularly scheduled visits. They'll talk to their doctor in their visit. And then when they leave, they'll be given a handout on mostly inhaler instructions. So when they get prescribed their inhaler, they get like teaching on how to use it or counseling on how to use it. And then it tends to kind of be that as time goes on, they're not using their inhaler as efficiently anymore because they're either forgetting the steps that they were once taught, or just kind of over time, how well you do something without getting revision or getting like re-taught how to do it kind of diminishes. I've gotten some like practice inhalers to potentially make some videos so that when veterans go home, if they want to watch the videos, or like 6 months from now, they want to watch the videos, they always have access to it on their My Healthy Vet, which is like a portal that the veterans can see all of their information on. So for the past couple days, I've been working on an RCA. An RCA is a root cause analysis. So what that is when an event happens, it's not always negative, but I feel like it usually is. We want to go back and kind of see what steps led to that event happening and what steps can we make in order to prevent those events from happening again. So it's more so to make system changes or policy changes to prevent errors from happening. In my specific case, the RCA involved the CWA protocol. So there was a patient that was suspected of coming in on alcohol overdose. And it's a patient that has been coming in and out of the ER multiple times because a lot of the staff were already familiar with this patient. And in the beginning, what the job of the committee that's elected is to come up with what happened that day, like come up with the story of what we think happened that day. Then we go in and then kind of try to interview people that were involved in the incident. I got assigned to interview someone that was in the CBOC. They're the people that kind of help with the orders. So with the CWA protocol, it's kind of set so that certain things are automatically checked in the order so that every time that order is put in, those things are like built into the order. So my job was to kind of interview the people and kind of see if there was a way to uncheck these automatic checks, or if there's a way to make it where you have to check everything or disable this automatic check. They're gonna look into it. They didn't have an exact answer, but they do think it's feasible. Other people on my RCA team interviewed other people. So they interviewed some of the nurses that were involved. They interviewed some of the doctors that were involved, the overnight residents, the transitional staff, so the staff that came in the next day in the morning, to kind of see and gather what everyone remembers happening, and to see if there were things that went undocumented that happened. And so our next meeting will be, everyone will present what they come up with or came up with during the interviews, which will help kind of solidify more of this timeline story that we're making. Once that timeline story gets made, then we're gonna kind of see, okay, what questions do we have in terms of what changes could have been made, what changes need to be made, are these like policy changes that need to be made, was policy that's already in place followed, and then we kind of go from there. We got assigned to work with one of the cardiologists who's working on a project with the medication dofetilide. So he's come up with a list of a bunch of patients from like now to the past 20-ish years that have ever taken the medication dofetilide, and then we have to kind of break down this list into, have they taken dofetilide for 6 months or more? Why did they stop dofetilide? Have they any side effects while they were on it? What were these side effects? Has anyone died as a result of taking dofetilide? What was their like milligram dosage? It's a huge list. So this is probably going to take most of the year as well. But it's really to see the side effect profile of using the antiarrhythmic dofetilide.
Are you using your inhaler?
All the time. Go through one a week.
You sure you're using it right?
Do I look like an idiot?
No. Why don't you show me how your inhaler works?
I took a sitter class today. It's like the sitter and observer class. So when patients need a one-to-one, so they need somebody sitting in the room watching them at all times, someone can train to become a sitter. It's like a class where it has a lot of prereqs, and then you have to do some of the like online coursework, and then it's like an in-person class where they kind of explain to you what all things you need to do when you're a sitter. So if the patient is sitting there, sometimes they'll ask you like, oh, can you help me go to the bathroom, or like, can you get stuff for me? And you always need to make sure that either somebody is watching them or you're standing in the doorway, so that way you can see them but also see what's going on around. And it was interesting because some of the people there, not that they were sitters themselves, but they've had experience with having to sit in patients' rooms, or they know people that were sitters and they had stories. So very interesting things to say, especially the people that were teaching the class. They were talking about how some people you wouldn't assume need a sitter because they're so like active and mobile otherwise, but then they have like risks of falling or have fallen in the past, and that's why they have a sitter. Besides that, nothing special. I got like papers of like what an actual sitter would get and like checklists that they need to follow. I don't think I'll actually ever use the certification, to be honest, but I just did it because it was like a training class to sit through. And they gave us like ways to protect yourself as a sitter, because sometimes either confusion or just like for some reasons patients will try to attack you or accidentally harm you. Yeah, but it was an interesting class, and that's what I did today.
Just finished up a medication error committee meeting. It was like someone had a list of a bunch of possible errors or errors that did occur, and then we went through the list and then kind of just talked about what happened, and then if further like action needed to be taken. Another committee I'm on is the health equity committee. That one is like, we are supposed to meet I think every month or every other month in person, but we talk about like patient safety issues across not only our VA, but a lot of the VAs that happen, and then people in different departments kind of bring up safety issues that they've either noticed or think that's important to kind of talk about and that have been resolved, and then kind of see who has feedback or who has either solutions or things that they would like to bring up to like higher leadership.
Today is Monday, May 12th. Our abstract and our portfolios are due today at 5. I'm about to submit mine right now. So it's our like last big kind of things that we need to submit before we kind of do final presentations. And yeah, big steps today, and I'm gonna submit mine now. I'm working on my abstract for my final project, and then after that, I can submit my abstract and then my portfolio, and then I'm done. Over the last couple weeks, we've done lean training, we've done white belt training. We were trying to see if we can get yellow belt certified, but we don't really have that much time left in the year. And then the project that I was working on as my capstone project doesn't fully meet the criteria, so I won't be able to do yellow belt training. We've met with the research pharmacist. We've met with one of the ID pharmacists / anti-coag pharmacists. The research pharmacist actually sat down and talked with us for a while, and then she like walked us around the hospital and kind of pointed out different units, different people, where people's offices are, stuff like that. So she's really nice. Yeah, we took portfolio pictures today because we have to submit them as part of our final portfolio. We need to have like headshots in there. I'm presenting my final presentation today. I have my notes ready, I have my laptop out. Yeah, so I'm presenting my capstone project, what I've been doing for the whole year.
We'll see you on graduation as well, and now you have some time for end of year wrap up.
It is, and to the den leaders. So thank you all, and appreciate connecting with you this year, and see you during graduation.
And that's a wrap on our last didactic meeting.
Desiree and I are graduating today, and I don't really know what to expect because it's on Teams. So I have my laptop out in front of me because it's in the next 5 minutes. But yeah, today's graduation day.
Our co-director, Helene Moriarty, is a nurse researcher. Both of our fellows are pharmacists. And we learned very early in the year that our pharmacy department here at the Philadelphia VA would not collaborate with us, would not even meet with the fellows to give them an orientation to the pharmacy. So they basically started their fellowships each with one foot in a lead boot. And we have had to be, and they have had to be, smart and resourceful and creative, and they have been. They've developed and implemented interesting and important projects for Alicia in COPD, in medical education, in patient education in COPD on inhaler use, and for Desiree in patient education in telehealth for patients with heart failure. And they've as well developed interesting secondary projects. They've both done great jobs. We're proud of them both. They've worked in difficult circumstances and did very nice work. I'm going to congratulate them both on behalf of me and Helene.
Leadership in Philadelphia through some definitely challenging negotiation there. And Desiree and Alicia did terrific work. Congratulations. I'm going to move us through a little bit slow.
Today is our last big work meeting. It's really just a lunch with our two bosses, but I'm running a little late, hence the little running, but I got them flowers and Desiree got them a candle and a mug, and it's our last big thing before we're basically done. We have still Monday, I guess, to do wrap up stuff, but today's our I'd go last day.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another.